The Ministry of Defense Police, MDP, is a civilian special police force which is part of the United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense. The MDP's primary responsibilities are to provide armed security and counter-terrorism services to designated high-risk areas, as well as uniformed policing and limited investigative services to Ministry of Defense property, personnel, and installations throughout the United Kingdom. The MDP are not military police and should not be confused with the Royal Military Police or any other British service police. Service personnel often refer to the MDP by the nickname ModPlod. MDP officers are attested as constables under the Ministry of Defence Police Act 1987. All MDP officers are trained as authorised firearms officers, AFOs, and 90% of those on duty are armed at any given time. The force was originally formed in 1971 by the merger of three separate service constabularies, the Air Force Department Constabulary, the Army Department Constabulary, and the Admiralty Constabulary. The force, which consists of two divisions, is headquartered at MDP Wethersfield, Essex. The force has a number of specialized departments and also provides officers for international policing secondments, including overseas and training of resident police forces in these areas. These overseas missions are carried out under the mandates of the United Nations, NATO, or the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Most recent overseas deployments have been to Afghanistan to train Afghan National Police, ANP, forces in policing skills. The MDP underwent a significant restructuring as part of the coalition government's post-2010 austerity measures, and the Strategic Defence and Security Review. Its budget was cut from £360 million to £180 million and it was to lose 20% of its manpower and up to 50% of its stations by 2016. The new, smaller force will concentrate on high-end tasks such as nuclear weapons security and mobile armed policing of the defense estate. Citation needed. As of March 2019, the force had a workforce of around 2,549 police officers and 227 police staff based at numerous defense and infrastructure locations across the United Kingdom. The MDP has the second highest number of officers trained as AFOs of any police force, after the Metropolitan Police Service, who as of March 2019, had 2,623 AFOs. In 2016, MDP officers made 61 arrests. Comparatively, in the year ending March 2017, a territorial police forces with similar numbers of officers, Sussex Police, made 17,506 arrests. External links. History. Main article. History of the Ministry of Defence Police. The Ministry of Defence Police was formed in 1971 by the merger of three civil constabularies, the Air Force Department Constabulary, previously under the control of the Air Ministry, the Army Department Constabulary, previously under the control of the War Office, and the Admiralty Constabulary, previously under the control of the Admiralty. These earlier constabularies were formed as a result of the Special Constables Act 1923, although their histories can be traced back much further as watchmen. Their powers came from different legislative sources. In 1984, the House of Commons Defence Select Committee recognized the difficulties under which the Ministry of Defence Police were operating. The committee's recommendations led to the passing of the Ministry of Defence Police Act 1987. During the period 2004 to 2013, the MDP was part of the wider Ministry of Defence Police and Guarding Agency, MPGA, together with the Civilian Uniformed Ministry of Defence Guard Service, MGS. As a result of cuts made to the UK defence budget, arising from the Strategic Defence and Security Review of 2010, the MPGA was disbanded on April 1, 2013. The MDP returned to standalone police force status. The MGS was cut heavily and became part of the new Defence Infrastructure Organisation. Function. Mod Police Mitsubishi Shogun GLX, Horse Guards London. The MDP's primary responsibility is protecting sites of national importance throughout the United Kingdom, mostly through provision of authorised firearms officers, AFO, at high-security sites. As such, it deals with both military personnel and civilians. The Ministry of Defence's, MOD, requirement of the MDP is expressed in 6 core capabilities. Armed nuclear security, territorial policing and security, Intelligence gathering and analysis to support the efficient and effective deployment of MDP resources. The prevention, investigation and detection of fraud and corruption, and the theft of or criminal damage to key defense equipment and assets. To provide specialist civil policing support to defense and other international policing commitments, in support of UK government policy. To maintain specialist policing capabilities that can be deployed at short notice as part of the response to unforeseen requirements at defense establishments in the UK.